It is normal to feel down sometimes, but when an unhappy period or downtime tends to linger or last for more than a few days, it could be a sign of depression. Do you find it very difficult to get out of bed? Or has your mood ever been scattered all over the place lately? Then, it may be a sign that you are likely depressed. As bad as depression can be, it can be very difficult to tell if a person has it. This is because depression itself makes the depressed person not able to show that he or she is depressed. In this video, we've got some of the possible signs that will show if a person is likely to be depressed or not. Let us get into it. Number 1. Sadness, hopelessness, and grief. Feeling emotional is a natural trait of humans, but when the feeling of sadness becomes persistent and overwhelming, it can cause difficulty in trying to concentrate and focusing on the things that you need to do. This is a likely sign of depression, as it can make you feel emotionally drained, and it can also go on to affect your daily functioning, and some other cases may bring a feeling of hopelessness and a feeling of not worth living life. Having such thoughts and feelings may be a possible sign of depression. Number 2. Alcohol and drugs. Consumption of alcohol and drugs is usually linked to depression. Whether a casual or a social drinker, it's always important to know when there's a change in your drinking habit. If you find yourself consuming so much or less than you normally do, then you need to reassess the situation, as there might be reasons for this irregularity in your consumption of alcohol. On the other hand though, drugs can cause some sense of relaxation, but when the urge to constantly intake these drugs to feel at peace is there, then there may be signs of depression. Number 3. Not taking care of yourself. When self-care starts to feel like a whole lot of work, then it might be a sign of depression in disguise. When an individual is depressed, taking care of themselves may seem like a whole lot of work and time wasted, and they normally don't have the energy to do it. Even the simplest act of shaving or showering or doing the laundry may become something extremely difficult to do. In cases of severe depression, these individuals may even have changes in their eating habits. They may not want to eat at all or only a little bit. Number 4. Always having negative thoughts. When individuals constantly start having dreadful thoughts that something bad might happen to them, or they feel like they are likely disliked by people around them, then they may have a link to depression, and it may be in disguise. These thoughts can be painful and draining to the extent that these individuals turn to take alcohol or drugs to ease off of these thoughts. These thoughts are often accompanied by a constant feeling of sadness and hopelessness, which can make it difficult to have a proper daily routine. Number 5. Sleeping habits. There is a change in sleeping habits when someone is depressed. They usually find it difficult to get out of bed, or not even being able to get some sleep. Depression affects individuals physically and emotionally, and it can make the easiest of tasks difficult to do. This can go a long way in affecting an individual's life at school or even at work. Number 6. Mood swings. People with not so severe cases of depression have a habit of not wanting people to know they are depressed, and thus they fake smiles or laughter. They usually do this when they're with a group of friends, and they don't want them to figure out what's going on with them because of the strong feeling of them being judged. Sometimes the individuals with depression will lash out unnecessarily. They could be laughing and smiling, and then just immediately lash out for no reason at all, with very little provocation. Number 7. You ask for help and deny when it comes. Depressed people have a habit of asking for help, and then when they're about to get it, they deny it. There is a voice in their heads that always says, "No, you don't need it, you can't trust that this help is true, and stay away from it." They then tend to have doubts if this help is even genuine. Number 8. Not seeing your future wins. After being faced with numerous ill feelings, people with depression tend to feel frustrated and hopeless about the future. They find it difficult to focus or even build a successful future, as these ill feelings discourage them from even starting, or whenever they do start, it tends to draw them back and make them not see reasoning for embarking on building something successful. Number 9. Thinking about death. Having been faced with all these signs of depression, it usually develops into severe depression, and the thought of not having a reason to go on starts to come in. Thinking of dying is a dark aspect of severe depression. People in this state may feel like the world may be better off without them, and as such they have suicidal thoughts. If you're diagnosed with any of these signs, or multiple of them, then it's advisable to seek help and speak out. Depression is not healthy, as it may affect the life of the individual who has it. those who don't have depression but notice that their friends or close ones are exhibiting some of the signs should always waste no time in offering up some help. Have you had a case of depression? Or have you helped someone suffering with it? Drop a thought down below in the comments section.